guys, Rosie Cutter here, the traveling astrologer. Boy, have I been so busy, but I made a point. My web designer and manager called me up, said make a video for the new moon in Cancer. Let's start to get on some content stuff, so here we are. So happy new moon. It's coming up in just a few hours, but of course we feel the effects of it 3 days before and 3 days after. There's several different aspects going on right now. We're coming out of a pretty crunchy time. There was a lot of Uranus, Mars, Saturn aspect squares. I don't know if anybody else has noticed, super irritation, lots more road rage, sadness, melancholy, depression, even though there's like no reason. So that's definitely part of these influences. And one of the things that I always want to stress is that there is a weather pattern and a backdrop going on. And just because there is, a storm coming doesn't mean we can't have a great movie marathon and game night and have fun and go skiing in the morning, as long as we know that it's a storm and we're not trying to stand outside and plan a non-for-profit fundraiser picnic. So definitely this moon today can definitely feel like quite a relief from these really dark, heavy aspects. So everybody take a deep breath with me. Let's feel all the yuckiness. None of this matters. Nobody gets out alive. But I think that this weekend is actually going to bring a lot of the vibe that we were looking for the holiday weekend. The last couple of weeks weren't really super great for collective group gatherings. There's a lot of violent things happening. I don't know. Anyways, so there is quite a liberation. We have some Venus and Uranus happening, and this is very light, fun, silly, liberating, even experimentation, sexually, role-playing, trying new things out, meeting new friends, flings and one-night stands definitely is like a Venus-Uranus. So I would invite you all to have fun and embrace the irreverency of this sort of a transit. It definitely should start to feel lighter. We can move forward making plans. We've been in quite a standstill for the last couple months, even as a global collective. So now things start to move forward. We can regain our optimism for life. I mean, after all, what the hell did we just go through? Anyways, but I would say as well, if people come into your life, especially in the last few months or coming up in this next month, and they seem to fulfill all your dreams, just, enjoy it, but don't totally take your feet off the ground. Uranus definitely brings lots of people coming in and out of your life unexpectedly. In fact, Uranus as a Taurus, I'm a Taurus with my sun in the 7th house, along with Mars in the 7th house. So Uranus has been transiting my house of partnerships and my sun and my Mars for these last few years. It's going till 2026. And I've definitely had all kinds of different people come in and out of my life that are very different backgrounds, different cultures. And what they're doing is they're opening up a new facet in me. That's what the Uranus is. Anything in this world is a mirror for our own unfolding consciousness. I mean, after all, we spend half our life asleep, and in your sleep, you can literally have an orgasm, have a heart attack. You think that's real while it's happening. And then that's finished, and we're like, oh no, that's not the real part, this is. So, I mean, really, what is this all but a cosmic mirror, just like we're mirrors for the sun, perhaps. But let it wash through you, over you. There is a lot of awakening happening, I think, and I'm definitely seeing this in my practice as well. Because of, the lockdown and everything that happened, relationships are changing. People have gone through some serious awakenings. There have been a lot of separations. There have been a lot of restructuring as to where people live, how work is, how the duties are divvied out in the family. So this also reminds me of that Capricorn Cancer North Node thing that we had been going through for those couple years before, and restructuring the home, the family, the banking system, what's valuable, what's not. Lots of upheaval. Anyways, the point being, this weekend and the next 2 weeks are supposed to be quite fun. So just make sure you keep your PDF on and keep your feet on the ground, because a lot of what comes in can come in and out quickly, especially around relationships. And I think there's a lot of changing of values for people. And that sort of thing is really going to solidify by the time we get to the third major Saturn transit on December 24th. So, just keep your wits about you, even though, of course, in love, that's often hard to do, but lots of fun, people coming out of their shells. So what I would recommend, and what I'm going to do myself, first I'm going to go and do some pampering, new moon in Cancer, and get a mani-pedi. I had to take my long nails off because I'm working on guitar a lot now. Then I'm going to go to the hot springs, Cancer, water, and I'm going to come home and do a ritual. So the ritual can be whatever you want. Here's some ideas or intentions that I would suggest. Anything to do with water, because the moon is in Cancer. It's exalted in Cancer, by the way. Anything to do with taking a beautiful bath, a beautiful shower, wash your hair, get in a river, get in a lake. I would also recommend making a list of the seeds that you want to plant around your home, family, emotional development. If you'd like to have children, this is definitely a really good even period to conceive this month, but like a sort of wish upon the star for babies moon, this would be a really good one. So especially for something like that, I would take some objects, something maybe a crystal, a piece of jewelry, go find some nice shiny stones, whatever, who cares. And also maybe get some flower petals or some essential oils and make yourself a little ritual bath and invite in whatever spirit it is that you're trying to conceive, if that's something you're working on. If that's not something you're working on, know that there's a lot of fertility for everyone, especially anybody with intense Scorpio placements or Taurus this year in general. So be careful what you're birthing. But regardless of that, since this can be a good time to plant intentions and plant seeds, also let's think about, like, the new moon is a time of stillness. What can we clear away, right? What can we move? I always write, I write affirmations for myself that say things like, I'm so thankful to let go of anything that's no longer serving to me to my highest purpose, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Write things out. Get an actual pencil or a pen and a piece of paper. That is very, very powerful to write out your intentions. And so what I often do is I'll take the ritual bath, love myself, think about all these great things, put on some great music, and then I write out my manifestations for the new moon. What do I want to come to fruition in the next 6 months? What would I like to make room for and let go of? What seeds do I want to plant? Then I personally burn the list, and I mix the list with the contents of my bath. So I save all my old flowers and dried flowers so I can have them for the bath. But any kind of herbs, any kind of essential oils, I drain the bath and I take those contents, I mix it with the ashes, and I throw it in the river to release it and let go. Anything that you can do where you're releasing it to nature. Maybe you don't want to burn your list. Maybe you want to keep it on your altar and really focus on it. That's a wonderful thing to do too. These are just different suggestions. But really, anything that we do repeatedly, repetitively, anything that we do again and again and again and again is a ritual, which is actually really scary when we think about things like habits or toxic habits that actually become rituals. And these rituals set the tone for our lives. These are our offerings to the gods. Who knows? Maybe there are some random Zeuses and, Aphrodites up there, and they're pissed at us because we forgot they exist. That's why they're wreaking havoc. No, but it is good to set healthy rituals for yourself, especially if you have children and you have, situations. I mean, God bless you, people where, you can't have 5 minutes to yourself in a headspace. So really, doing a ritual, setting the time for yourself, just connecting with your higher spirit, putting on some great classical music, have a glass of wine with it if you want, light some incense, think about appeasing all the senses, lock the kids out and let them watch a movie. Who cares? You have to get this space for yourself, and we have to reconnect to that, because I think that we're getting lost in toxic habits, and we are creatures of habit. That's why we're all still here, because we're so good at mimicking, and we're so good at falling in line together. Look how that can work out. So anyways, my new moon in Cancer wish for you is that as a collective, we are going to heal the mother wound the nurturing, whatever nurturing we felt we didn't get, we got too much of. We can let go of this as a society. We can all become flutes, like a hollow riverbed, open to whatever flows through it, but not holding on or attached, so that it doesn't need to feel heavy, that it doesn't need to feel like an emotional morass from which we're drowning. And I feel like a lot of people get stuck in that, and they spend a lot of time trying to figure out why they feel the way they do. And especially right now, man, it's nails on a chalkboard. It is turned up to 11 for sure. And it's like, hey, bro, don't believe everything you think. And if you're feeling these intense energies, transmute them. Art, music, exercise, anything. Utilize them, recycle them, but don't let them weigh heavy upon you. No, everyone will be free and liberated eventually. And yes, this is so intense. But what I think is really happening, especially with this new moon, is that we are recognizing and understanding that we have been in a very dark place for a very long time. And it's like we're waking up from a bad dream. And now it's beautiful because like you can shake it all off and realize that even though that was a bit of an intense emotional roller coaster, one day you will wake up and return to God and remember who you are. And that's not if, it's when. And unfortunately, it's usually faster than we think. I have a lot of people passing. And I mean, I know a lot of clients and I deal with a lot of people, but it seems like the veils and the gates are more open than ever. And now those people's souls have been released from suffering. If you've had anyone pass away, this new moon is a beautiful time to connect with their spirit and pray for the release of their spirit from the Bardo states so that they're no longer clinging and staying in this place, right? We want to move on. The whole point of being here is to recognize the ground luminosity of consciousness at death so that we can escape this wheel. But while we're in the body, it's supposed to be fun and it's supposed to be playful. And this weekend and the next 2 to 3 weeks, let's have fun, let's lighten up, let's move on, get rid of the baggage. There's a collective anger and sadness and resentment that just breaks my absolute heart for the psychological mind control experiment that we just experienced as a collective. If you are alive right now and you didn't off yourself in this past year, this is like level 11 of the video game. And congratulations, because this is it's a strong time. You have to be strong to be here. You have to be strong against the warrior, the parasites that live in your mind, that feed off of fear and negativity. You have to be that warrior. And the more that you take care of yourself, the more that you're grounded, the more that you exercise, stay in the body, the more that you rest, the more that you try to choose love, you know, we can win this battle. It might seem like we lost the little skirmish, but the war is never over. And the light must always be the winner. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. If it wasn't a 5149, the darkness would have eclipsed all of this by now. So at least we know there is a good. Good does prevail. So I hope you all have a beautiful new moon in Cancer. I mean, can you believe it's July already? I'm like, whoa! I mean, time is definitely accelerating. There's wild stuff going on. But I appreciate and love all of you. Thank you so much. Thanks to your support of my lifestyle and everything, I am able to upgrade to a new laptop for the first time in many years. The old one still works, but I'm really excited about that. So a lot of new technological stuff coming my way, and I'm going to be able to utilize that so I can share with you. The goal is to start to do weekly check-ins like this that will be posted on YouTube and also my Instagram and website. And then eventually, once I'm getting the vibe and the mood, we can do like group chats and readings, and I can do mini readings where people come in the group chat and we look at, and okay, they're a queen of clubs and they're 35 and we all do a little mini reading together. Doesn't that sound fun? Okay. And if it doesn't, then don't bother, don't worry, go find, there's a fractal for everybody. But anyways, just trying to help uplift society. I'm thankful for my work because the more that I'm focused on something else and giving the mind something to think about, the less it's worrying about the future, things that don't matter, things that I have no control over. And I would invite you to do the same thing. Study, educate yourself, have fun, have new experiences. Love yourself. Love your loves. Love them a lot. For all this ends. All right, see you next week.